A bird just stood completely still for 30 minutes straight, watching a crocodile and then ate it. Not a small crocodile, a juvenile Nile crocodile. And it didn't panic. It didn't run. It just waited. And then struck so fast, scientists have clocked its attack at under a second. This is not a dinosaur. This thing is alive right now, walking around in African swamps, staring at things with eyes that don't blink. Meet the Shoebill stork, the most terrifying bird on Earth, and the reason scientists genuinely call it a living dinosaur. What is this thing? Most people have never heard of the Shoebill stork, and that's exactly the problem, because this bird looks like something that should have gone extinct 66 million years ago, right alongside the dinosaurs. It stands up to 5 feet tall. That's the height of an average human woman. Its wingspan stretches over 8 feet wide. It weighs up to 7 kilograms, and its bill, the most recognizable feature on its body, is shaped exactly like a Dutch wooden clog, measuring up to 24 centimeters long and 10 centimeters wide. That bill is the 5th largest of any bird on the planet. But here's what makes it genuinely prehistoric looking. The shoebill doesn't move like a modern bird. It moves like a predator. Slow, deliberate, patient. It has been recorded standing completely motionless for hours at a time, just waiting for prey to surface. When it finally strikes, it lunges forward with its entire body weight behind the blow. It's called the balancing act strike. The bird practically falls onto its prey using gravity and muscle together, decapitating or crushing whatever it's caught. Lungfish, baby crocodiles, monitor lizards, water snakes, tilapia. The shoebill eats all of it. The dinosaur connection. So why do scientists call this a living dinosaur? It's not just a metaphor. There's actual science behind it. Birds today are technically avian dinosaurs. Every single bird you've ever seen is a direct descendant of theropod dinosaurs, the same family tree as Velociraptor and T-Rex. That's not a theory. That's established, peer-reviewed science backed by fossil evidence, DNA analysis, and bone structure comparison. But the shoebill takes this connection further than almost any other living bird. Its skeletal structure contains features that are strikingly similar to ancient prehistoric birds and dinosaur lineages. Its behavior, the ambush predation, the stillness, the deliberate calculated attack, mirrors theropod hunting strategies preserved in the fossil record. And then there's the sound it makes. The shoebill does not sing. It does not chirp. It does not tweet. This bird claps its mandibles together rapidly, producing a loud mechanical rattling sound that paleontologists have described as eerily similar to what ancient dinosaurs may have sounded like. It's the closest thing alive today to the sound of something that should no longer exist. There's a reason wildlife photographers who see this bird for the first time often say the same thing. It feels wrong, like something from a different era accidentally left behind. Classified as what? Here's where it gets scientifically interesting. For a long time, scientists couldn't even agree on what the shoebill actually was. Originally, it was classified with storks, hence the name. Then researchers examined its DNA and skeletal structure more closely, and the results forced a reclassification. The shoebill is now placed in its own family, Basiaceae Balaenicipitidae, completely alone. It has no close living relatives. It shares certain characteristics with herons, some characteristics with pelicans, but it's not fully either. It occupies its own isolated branch on the tree of life, and that isolation matters scientifically. Animals that sit alone on evolutionary branches like this are often called relict species, meaning they are survivors of ancient lineages that have otherwise gone completely extinct. The entire family the shoebill belongs to is effectively gone, except for this one bird. It is the last of its kind, quite literally. Quite the stare. Ask anyone who has encountered a shoebill in the wild, and they will all mention the same thing before anything else. The stare. The shoebill looks directly at you, both eyes forward like a predator. Most birds have eyes on the sides of their heads, a prey animal adaptation for detecting threats from multiple directions. The shoebill has forward-facing eyes, giving it genuine binocular vision. The same visual setup as owls. The same visual setup as humans. The same visual setup as predatory raptors. This gives the shoebill exceptional depth perception. It can judge the exact distance to a target moving underwater. Then it times its strike with mechanical precision. But beyond the biology, there's something deeply unsettling about being stared at by a 5-foot bird that doesn't blink. That holds eye contact without breaking. That seems by every behavioral indicator to be actively assessing you. Wildlife researchers who study this species have noted that the shoebill does not flee from humans. It doesn't scatter like most birds do. It turns, orients itself, and watches. Calmly. With what can only be described as evaluation. This is not normal bird behavior. It is predator behavior. Where it lives and how few are left. The shoebill stork exists in a narrow band of freshwater swamps across Central and Eastern Africa, primarily in South Sudan, Uganda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia, and Rwanda. It specifically seeks out papyrus marshes and dense swampland with low oxygen levels in the water. Why? Because low oxygen forces fish to surface more frequently to breathe. And the shoebill is waiting every single time they do. But here's the reality. The global wild population of shoebill storks is estimated at between 3,300 and 5,300 individuals. That's the entire species. The entire last surviving member of its ancient family line. The IUCN has listed it as vulnerable on the red list, and researchers warn the population trend is declining. Wetland draining for agriculture, papyrus harvesting, cattle grazing into swamp zones, all of it chips away at the very specific environment the shoebill requires to survive. There are more tigers alive on Earth right now than shoebill storks in the wild. Let that land for a second. The parenting behavior. Here's something most people don't know about the shoebill, and it changes how you see it completely. The shoebill typically lays 2 eggs per breeding season. And then something brutal happens. The stronger chick, almost always the first to hatch, will attack the weaker chick aggressively. And the parents allow it. Sometimes even appear to encourage it by feeding only the dominant chick. This is called siblicide, a behavior documented in several bird species including eagles and herons, but rarely as openly practiced as in the shoebill. It is an evolutionary strategy. Resources in swamp environments are limited. The parents channel everything into the strongest offspring to maximize the survival of at least one viable chick, rather than potentially losing both. It is in every sense a dinosaur's parenting strategy. The shoebill stork is not cute. It is not friendly. It does not belong in a children's book. It is a 5-foot predator with a bone-crushing bill, forward-facing predator eyes, no living relatives, and hunting behavior lifted directly from the Cretaceous period. It kills crocodiles. It practices siblicide. It stares at humans without blinking, and right now it is disappearing. Fewer than 5,300 of them remain on the entire planet. The last living dinosaur, the real one, is not in a museum. It's standing in a swamp in South Sudan, perfectly still, waiting. And it's running out of time.